What it is, my 10 Peace and Grease here, and today we're talking about credits. More specifically, we're talking about this weekend. Right now, as I am speaking, we have a double credit weekend. What does that mean? Well, basically what it means is DE has effectively given every single 10 a 2-day credit booster. So it doubles pretty much any and all credits that you pick up, regardless of the mission that you run. Now, that's great news, but even better news is it stacks with credit boosters, meaning you get not twice the credits, not 3 times the credits, but quadruple the credits that you would normally get this weekend only. Today, Saturday the 8th, and tomorrow, Sunday the 9th, and then it's over. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're continually running out of credits, or you continually need credits to build something or buy something in-game that you're desperately needing, now's the time to rack up on it, my 10. This is where you get a good balance of credits. Now, I think it goes without saying that you should probably, obviously go for those little doodads. They're called boosters. Yeah, that's right. I highly, did I mention highly? Recommend that you get at least bare minimum a 3-day credit booster. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Look, crack some relics, get some prime junk, sell the prime stuff, get it out there, get 40 plats worth, sell 40 plat worth of loot, and buy yourself a 3-day credit booster, particularly if you find yourself always coming up short of credits. They are well worth having now more than ever, since they do stack with the double credit weekend. Okay? Excellent to have. Now, I'm sure many are going to say, well, Peace, if I get a credit booster, where should I farm credits? I'm glad you asked. So, if you're going to farm credits, it is accepted as a fact in the Warframe community that the number one place to farm credits is the index. However, if you're a newer player, Neptune is kind of deep into the star chart, so not all players are going to have access to it. But never fear, Peace is here. Stay tuned, and I will tell you newer players that don't have access to Neptune some other options for farming credits. But back to the topic at hand, which is index. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time talking about index because there's a lot of great content creators out there that have thoroughly covered a lot of the index information. So I kind of feel like it's redundant if I cover it as well. So I'm just going to go over the basics. So basically, when you click on index, you're presented with 3 mission types: low risk, medium risk, and high risk. Each one you have to basically pay to run the mission. If you successfully complete the mission, however, you get your credits back. If you don't, you lose your credits. That's the downside. And there is a slight risk, ever so slight. But, and this isn't me being braggadocious, again, just being real with y'all, I solo medium risk all the time. In fact, I have been soloing medium risk several times thus far this morning. And so there is a risk, yeah, but if you go into these index missions with somebody that's at least semi-knowledgeable in regards to index, you should have really no problem at all for low or medium risk. It pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You shouldn't have any problem. So basically how it works is, for example, low risk, you pay 30k credits, and you must win the match with 50 index points. You have to have the 50 index points on low risk. Upon doing so, you will get 105,000 credits. Now, keep in mind that 30,000 of that was what you already put in, so you're getting a total profit of 75,000 credits. Medium risk is similar. However, instead of needing 50 points, you need 75 index points, and you have to win that match. And it costs you 40k, so 10,000 more. But the return is 175,000 credits, keeping in mind that 40k is what you put in, so it's a total profit of 135,000 credits. Finally, high risk, you have to put in 50,000 credits. You have to win the match with 100 index points. And upon doing so, you'll get a return of 250,000 credits, minus the 50, obviously, that you put in. gives you a net profit of 200,000 credits. So let me put this all into perspective for you. What does this all mean right now this weekend with the credit booster and the double credit weekend? What does that all break down to? Well, for medium risk, for example, you're getting 135,000 credits profit. So with the credit booster, you are going to be getting 270,000 credits. Now that's just the credit booster. For the double credit weekend on top of that, you're getting a total of 540,000 credit for literally about a 5-minute match. Literally 5 minutes, 540,000 credits, and that's medium risk. Okay, over 500,000 credits for 5 minutes. Yeah. Now this is just medium risk. This isn't even high risk. High risk, you're looking at a total return of 800,000 credits with the credit booster on this double credit weekend. So as you can imagine, now is a very, very, very good time to rack up those sweet, sweet credits. Now, if you're looking for somebody to farm index, you're not really familiar with it, you can go to the recruiting chat. And because it's a double credit, if my mouth's going to work, because it is a double credit weekend, there are going to be people that are going to continually be farming index. Just watch the region chat. Look to see exactly who is farming, or type in the message yourself, looking for medium risk index, looking for high risk index, something along those lines. Just be upfront and honest with people. Let them know, hey, look, you're not really familiar with index, and you're going to find players that are going to have no problem taking you under their wing and telling you the ins and outs of index. However, guys, if you run into a bunch of elitist snobs out there that don't want a newer player in index, hey, look, I'm going to be farming index off and on all weekend long, along with the unvaulted relics. If you see me on, shoot me a message and I'll send you an invite and I'll run some index with you. I have no problem doing that, y'all. None whatsoever. Needless to say, I am on PS4, so sorry, PC, Xbox. If I could, I would definitely invite y'all as well, but since I'm stuck on PS4 and because Sony doesn't allow crossplay, that's not really going to be an option now, is it? So, yeah. But, again, if you run into elitist snobs, you're on on PS4, you need some help, and you haven't run index before, shoot me a message on Warframe, and I will have no problem shooting you an invite and running some index with you, okay? So, and speaking of the devil, here we go. Here's two players looking for high risk index right there. So, there you go. Now, for you newer players out there, if you're wondering, does this mean that we're out of luck since we can't get to Neptune yet? No, it does not. In fact, my recommendation to you guys, if you're newer players, and granted, keep in mind, this is not going to be as good as index, because really, thus far, nothing in the game of Warframe really comes close to the returns you get from index. But I highly recommend that you look at Gabby. Excuse me, allergies flaring up. But I highly recommend you look at Gabby on Ceres. Ceres is very, very early in the star chart. Most newer players should have access to it, or should be able to get access to it pretty quickly and pretty easily. And just run Gabby. And I highly recommend you get the Secure Electa. The Secure Electa is a weapon that you can get from Parent. It's a syndicate weapon. They're pretty cheap to get. And a lot of newer players have actually forgotten about this little bad boy.
Operator, you have remembered well.
So why am I talking about the Secure Electa and credits? Good question. Here's why. The Secure Electa actually generates credits when you get kills with it. So if you're, say, MR8, for example, you're going to get 2 times the credits from each enemy that you kill. Okay, now that's not 2 times total credits. Mind you, that's just each individual enemy. So it's 2 times what you would normally get killing that enemy. And if you're at MR18, Mastery Rank 18, it's capped at 4 times, unfortunately. So it doesn't go any higher. But if that should give you an idea that you should be anywhere between times 2 to times 4 the credits per enemy kill. So ultimately, it's still a really good way to farm credits. It's not as good as it used to be, because it used to be 12, almost, if I recall correctly, it used to be 12 times per enemy. Now, unfortunately, it used to be like the end-all be-all for farming back in the day. Like, ask any experienced or vet player, they'll tell you that the Secure Electa was the way to go when it came to farming. Same goes with Chroma. Chroma's Fourth can actually generate extra credits, and you combine Chroma's Fourth and the Secure Electa back in the day, and you would be rolling in credits. However, the Secure Electa is still a decent way, but keep in mind that you must have the Secure Electa actually equipped. All right, it must be equipped. That's why, if I were you, I would just remove your other two weapons and just run a farming frame. I personally would recommend Hydroid, but you can run a Necros if you prefer. If you don't have a Hydroid yet, that's fine. A Necros would work. But yeah, I personally would highly recommend running the Secure Electa. Kill everything with the Secure Electa. You should be able to pick up a Secure Electa pretty cheap in trade chat if you don't have one. Doggone phone's going off here. Sorry. But you should be able to get one picked up pretty cheap in trade chat for probably 20 to 30 plat. Pretty cheap, pretty easy to get. And it can generate a pretty good amount of credits in a 20-minute session. In fact, I actually ran a 20-minute run of Gabby prior to this vid. And with the Secure Electa, and that's all that I used. I killed everything with the Secure Electa. For a 20-minute run, right around 20 minutes, I generated 282,000 credits. Just over 282,000 credits. So, not a horrible way to go. If you're needing credits, you're still fairly new to Warframe, you don't have the Neptune unlocked as yet on the star chart, then I do recommend going with Gabby on Ceres. Grab yourself the Secure Electa and go to town. Although, keeping in mind that the longer you stay in Gabby, the better off you're going to be, because ultimately you're going to end up with more credits. I did a 20-minute as an average, 20-minute run, just for average. If you jump in for 5 minutes, you're going to have less, obviously. If you jump in for 30 minutes, you're going to have more, obviously. So, but yeah, that's an option. If you're a newer player, you don't have access to the index just yet, this is definitely a route that I would recommend that you go. So if you found this vid helpful, make sure that you soul punch that like button like Necros and subscribe for future content. And until next time, peace and grease.